Previously on 58 Keys, I was wrong about one thing. Well, I was wrong about one thing. That's over dramatising it. But I'm a man admitting he was wrong. I mean, it might be a bit of over dramatising, but frankly, it's also a Dear Diary moment, isn't it? Plus, something entirely unrelated has changed, and I want to tell you about both. If that isn't a teaser to get you watching, I do not know what is. Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is 58 Keys, which, as ever, as always, is for writers like you and me who use and who write on Macs and iPhones and iPads, all of them. Do subscribe because, well, I mean, there's so much to talk about always, and that includes so much to comment about too, which is really key this time because it was in these very comments down below, well, not directly, that 58 Keys viewer Pete Wilson put me right about something. It's not going to sound exciting at first. Window management. Hot contender for this year's dullest topic in the world, although personally I feel football is a bit of a shoe-in for that every year. Window management, it's surprisingly involved on a Mac, and if it's never really actually interesting, it at least gets very useful. And what Pete did was point out that I had missed an app. There I was, I'd gone off and bought every Mac window management app I could find, and still I missed one. It's called Magnet, and it's now the one I use because of Pete. Thank you very much. Let me be clear and save you having to watch another video to fathom what I'm saying. Window management lets you do this. It is a very fast way to end the clutter of overlapping documents and folders and icons and windows, and instead just let you focus on just what you need when you need it. Apple itself actually provides tools on the Mac and the iPhone, the iPad, all of these, well, not the iPhone maybe, it provides tools to do this window management. In fact, it provides a couple of them. They're fine, but they're not fine enough that there isn't a lot of room. There isn't a market for third-party apps, as it turns out more than I thought, that all do it better. The most famous of them, can you really have a famous Mac window management app? It's Moom, and I recommended it. I also recommended one called Mosaic, and actually I still do. I still recommend both. What really tickles me is that Pete not only found another window management app for the Mac, not only found one that I tried and because of him now use every day, but it's called Magnet. It's another one beginning with M. Magnet costs $8 on the Mac App Store, which puts it vaguely in the middle of the prices for these things, but it's not like any of them are particularly costly. And actually, I mean, this is important. All of them do exactly the same thing in really similar ways. Moom, Mosaic, Magnet, they all let you have a keystroke, a couple of keys on the keyboard that let you fling this window over there, that window over here. I know that you have any of these apps, you can set up almost any window movement using any keyboard keystroke you like, but as it happens, Magnet comes with ones that I like, that happen to suit what I use, and the keyboard keystrokes that it comes with built in, somehow they're just right for me too. They're just right for me to remember. So, I mean, I say that. They're right for me to remember when I'm at the keys doing it. I don't even think about it. Trying to say it to you, let me get this right. In Magnet on a Mac, pressing down Control Option right arrow chucks the current window to the right. Control Option left arrow to the left. That would make Control Option up and then down. And also, I use this one. I don't know how to do this one. I use this one very often. Control Option return. That takes you to full screen without tripping up over into Apple's own full screen mode, which hides menus and puts it in different screens. There's all sorts of things which are fine if you want them, but a pain when you're getting out or when you're swapping between different apps. Like I say, every window management app, except Apple's, I suppose, can do all of this. So not just Moom, Mosaic and Magnet, though. There are also two that I mentioned before as well. Better Touch Tool, which is an app that does hundreds of things that happen to include window management, and Keyboard Maestro, which does millions of things, including window management. Actually, let's be more specific here. I say I use Magnet, but I use it exclusively on my 14-inch MacBook Pro. Here on my Office Mac with the wider screen, I do have Magnet and Moom and Mosaic and Better Touch. I should remove some of them someday, but I got them all in. I tried them all out, except I'd already set up Keyboard Maestro to do this stuff before any of them. I think I've said this before. I'm definitely going to say it again if I haven't. Keyboard Maestro is like this god among Mac apps. But for this particular job, window management, it's a little bit fiddly. And in comparison, just being able to Control Option, tap a key and get on with things, fantastic. So, even though I don't use it in the Office Mac, I live and swear by it on my MacBook Pro, which is currently my favourite Mac in the world ever. So thank you very much, Pete Wilson. Next and previously too. You can have them both, can't you? It's totally unrelated to this, but there's a public transit app for iPhone called Citymapper. It does not map every city, but the list is growing, and if it covers yours, then it is excellent. It is actually better than the official local transit apps in the cities that I've tried it in. Tell Citymapper where you want to go. And, okay, maps out a route, but it shows you bus, train, taxi, Uber, possibly even walking options, maybe. Haven't tried that in a while. And it will also give you the cost of each one, as well as the duration and, of course, details of changes and things. Here where I am in England, I'm in Birmingham, we have a comprehensive bus system, but also quite high parking charges. So routinely, I'll just get a bus somewhere, and I always use Citymapper to do it. Because as well as saying this is the route you should take, it knows when you're taking it. You sit there on the bus, idly writing away, and it'll pop up showing you a list of all the stops, including, you can look at where are you now in this? Have I got time to read the next chapter, to write the next bit? And as you get near to your stop, it alerts you. It actually says prepare to get off after the next stop and then get off now, that kind of thing. Just what I need. All of this is dependent on the data that Citymapper gets from the city's local authorities. And therefore, I cannot conceive how Citymapper is better than the official apps using the same data. But it always is. Except, actually, when just occasionally something is totally wrong with the data. A bus just vanished. I was relying on a connection. It just never existed. That is a story right there, isn't it? I guarantee, let's not take that as a legal thing with money involved, but I guarantee that Citymapper is the best routing app for public transit that I know. I promise you that it's very nearly always right about timetables and delays and all of that. It's just, buses sometimes, what can you do? All of this is what Citymapper has always done and always been like. But when I last raved about it on 58 Keys, Citymapper was completely free. And, that's nice, I suppose, but it was a bit worrying. Such a good app, handling such a lot of data around the world. It had to be expensive to create and very expensive to maintain. And there seemed to be no income for the developers. Now, there is income. What's changed is that you can continue using Citymapper or start to use it, and it is entirely free so long as you're okay with adverts. Let's just be clear. Do you understand? I know there are people who think that all apps should be free and without advertising, but these are the same people who want to get paid their own salary, and that's completely different. Obviously, if Citymapper needs to run ads to earn money to keep going and survive, well, that's what it needs to do. As a user, I'm not keen on ads in apps. I think they're disruptive. They have to be. And actually, also, is this just me? I am continually astonished how awful the ads are in any ad-supported app. It's usually an ad for a game, and the game is pathetic. Why would you play this rubbish? Anyway, for what it's worth, I think Citymapper does as little as it can with the ads. They are as unobtrusive as they can be while necessarily being obtrusive. And also necessarily, at first when you're using it, you get an awful lot of prompts, it seems to me, about the ads and about how you can remove them with a subscription. The subscription is preposterously cheap. It's $3 or £3 a month, or it's $20 or £20 per year. Still, that's another subscription. So none of these are ever going to be a casual purchase. You do have to think about them or it all adds up terribly. But I did work out that I will use Citymapper at least 4 times a month here I am in Birmingham on a typical month. Plus, I'm hopefully going to both Tokyo and Vancouver later this year, both of which are cities that Citymapper covers and that I don't know at all. So for me, at least a year subscription is worth it, even if only to get rid of the ads. And actually, it doesn't just get rid of the ads. If you subscribe to Citymapper, you also get lock screen navigation. So with iOS 16 on your iPhone or later, there's a constantly updated notification on your lock screen telling you where you are and what's coming up next. Apparently you can also have Citymapper. I haven't tried this, but you can have it read out directions to you. Have a look for yourself. There's a 7-day free trial too. I was going to go for the free trial, but I realised I don't actually think I need the app in the next week. But when I do. That's it for this updated previously on 58 Keys edition. Thank you very much for watching. Now take care of yourself, write more, and I'll see you soon.